Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. And today we have a Jumpstart 2022 box. These, so if you've never seen these before, Jumpstart boosters are designed so that you can basically grab a couple packs and use them as a deck. So these packs will have more lands because they provide all the lands needed for the deck. Basically just shuffle up, like it says, shuffle up two and you play, which is a lot of fun if you're looking to play, get some little games in with yourself. My wife and I have had a lot of fun playing Jumpstart in the past. Anyhow, this set though, Jumpstart 2022, it has quite a few cards that I'm looking for. I've never opened it, so I thought it would be a fun one to open up. And we opened up one for my wife yesterday, so I'm gonna jump in. So we're the biggest hits we're looking for would be Rhystic Study, Ash Code of the Shadow Swarm, Tree of Perdition, Preston the Vanisher, Pirated Copy, Lid of Mechanical Engineer. Those are all the cards that are over $10. There's a whole bunch more as far as the rares and mythics to look for, but specifically, though, what's interesting about this set that you don't see in a lot of other sets is in the uncommons and commons, there are other cards as well. So in the uncommons, we've got Cold Steel Heart, Dragon Speaker Shaman, Mirror Image, Stitcher's Supply, Spawning Pit, Hydra's Growth, Infiltration Lens, Bloodline Pretender. Those are all over $1, and there's a few more that are right on the verge there. For commons, there's Spellsetter Sprite. That's $4.65 for a common. Creeping Bloodsucker, Preordained. I'm sure if you've played blue, you've probably played a bunch of Preordained. Big Score, nice red card is in there. Ram Through. Seed of the Synod, I can never say it. Expedition Map, Universal Automation. There's a bunch of other cards that we'll be looking for. And even in the lands, while this does have just basic lands, and there's going to be a ton of them, there are wastes and snow-covered islands. Those are both over $1 as well. And I know that at least, especially with the wastes, I could use some wastes. So anyhow, without further ado, we'll get into this. I will warn you, this may take a little longer to open up. So these packs, if you've never opened them, these packs have the outer packaging, and then they have a clear inner packaging. So it's a little bit longer to open each one of these packs. So we're going to dive into these, see how we did. These boxes, you can find these for about $100 right now on Amazon, TCG Player, and stuff like that. They're about $100. Given that you can pull a Rhystic Study, it is rare, but it's not a mythic. So it's a rare, not a mythic. So it's a lot easier to pull. But Rhystic Studies are $61.91 as I'm recording this. That's a crazy number. Ash Code of the Shadow Swarm, those are $46. So there's some big hits to look for. Personally, I wouldn't be against finding any Rhystic Studies, and the more Rhystic Studies I could find, the better. Tree of Perdition, I'd love to find one of those as well. And it's pretty much just across the board. There's so many things that even I haven't mentioned that like Panharmonicon and Karn Liberated and Ajani Strength of the Pride, Tameo, the Moon Sage, Professional Facebreaker. Those are cards that a few of those that we use in a lot of decks, and it's same thing in the commons and uncommons. So there's a lot of stuff in here that if you build multiple decks, a lot of that bulk that they're picking up the mid range cards that you're adding into those decks. Sometimes they're available in these Jumpstarts. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all these out. Look at this. Get these here. It's interesting looking packs too with set this off to the side for our trash, and we'll just go ahead and dive in. So like I said, there will be two different packaging, and as it mentioned here, one anime inspired card in every pack. That is true. There are anime art cards in here. The Rhystic Study, I believe, is one of those. So we'll see what we do here. So like I said, second packaging here. This is a fairies pack. So I'm sure a lot of people would be able to say, okay, fairies, that means it's going to have this, this, and this. Well, I'm not really sure. We know it's blue. That's the only thing I know for sure since I've never opened them. There is a little pull tab on this thing somewhere, but I can't find it, so we'll just cut it that way. We'll get it figured out here by the end, I'm sure. So we got the fairies, and what I'm going to do, if I make room, I'm going to put our rares and mythics over here. So, Stolen by Fae, Synchronized Eviction, Instruments of War, Stinging Lionfish. We'll just kind of flip through these. I'm not going to read all of them out for you. So tiny. I'll stack all these up, and then I'll separate the lands out as well. So we got Thriving Isles and a bunch of islands. I hope everybody's been doing well. Merfolk, another blue pack. Like I said, last time I opened one of these things, it had a little pull tab, but I'm not seeing the little, like a, you know, plastic tab. So you can watch me sit here and struggle. Don't mind me. Like I said, this is the worst part about opening up a. We know the lands are on the back, so I'll just do that. Try to be careful. I don't want to cut up a land that I might use in the future, but if I tear up a land, I tear up a land. I feel real bad if I tore up something else. So I guess I could always cut on this side with the token. So we got the Merfolk token, Seafloor Oracle, rare. Marrow Redray, River Sneak. I know that that's in my wife's Merfolk deck. Crashing Tide. A bunch more lands. You see that they're not all the same land either. It's actually pretty cool looking. Nope. Slippery hands. Pretty sure I cut into the card on that one. Oh yeah. Eldrazi. That's what we want to see. If not for nothing else, then we're going to see some wastes. So what do we get? World Breaker. Mythic. That's a good hit, I think. I don't see it on the top of my list though, but it is a good card. When you cast a spell, exile target artifact, enchantment, or land has reach, and then for 3, sacrifice a land, bring it back to your hand. And bringer. So got a rare, a mythic, and a rare. So we got at least one waste. I guess you don't get very many of them, huh? One's better than none, though. I see. I'm not building the deck right now, but I know in the future I've brewed a couple different colorless decks. So I know that at some point it's something I'm gonna want to do. And colorless decks need wastes for lands. Fiery. So it's going to be red cards. Ogre Battlecaster. Chandra. Thrill of Possibility. Can you guys see okay, or should I move the camera down a little bit? Which one's this one? Elves. Can never go wrong with some elves. I wonder what. I can't even get a hold. There it is. I'm going out from the wrong side. That's the problem. Wild-born Preserver for a rare. Wolves. Another green. Master of the Wild Hunt. So far we haven't seen any of the hits that are on the top of this list, huh? I'm sure I've missed a couple of the common uncommons that we were looking for, though. A young wolf, I feel like it's gotten reprinted so much lately. I bet you that had a little bit more value back in the day when this set came out. Since 2022, though, I think they printed Innistrad and then remastered it as well. Alright, so what is this? I guess if I was looking for anything specific, I'd be looking for something, a pack that's blue or black. That'd be ideal. The Risk Study or the like Tree of Perdition, like I was looking for. So, and of course, it's night. It's white. Circle of Loyalty with a mythic, and then we got a rare behind that. Balin Wandering Knight as an anime. Cat Knight. I suspect my wife is going to snatch that one. If you're looking for a whole bunch of basic lands and stuff, you open up one of these Jumpstarts, it'll get you set for a while on some basics. To be honest with you, since I built my Pauper Cube, and you know I used 400 or 500 basics on that, I think. I don't even remember. It's not that much, but I used a lot of basics. I actually could use some basics. There we go, black, our first black one. Cruel. What is this first card? It's a rare. That's what I'm looking for, a rare. Tree of Perdition's mythic. Ashcoat is a mythic. Veto would be good though. Not Veto. That's always a good one to have. And nobody likes to play it, but I like this card. Or nobody likes to play against it, I should say. Not worth a bunch or anything like that. But if you're gonna play a bunch of different ping or discard or anything like that, that's always a good one to have. Maybe you guys will see me cut myself. Let's hope not. I like this playmat. Alright. After watching me struggle, Detective. It's got blue with a rare Shimmer Dragon. I've already knocked this pile over. Go. You see just how many lands we get. I mean, the token cards are in there as well, but that is a lot of lands. Alright, what do we got? Fangs. It's another black one. Rare. So again, we're looking for the Veto. Naruto. This isn't a bad card, though. This is actually a $5 card. All right. Stitcher Supply would be good. Blood Artists. That's a good card. Sees a lot of play now that it's been reprinted in Standard. Guess it helps if I get the cut. Like I said, anytime you see a Jumpstart opening, you're going to see people struggle a little bit. We got Law. What is the best one? Preston the Vanisher is a rare. Balin Wandering Knight, which we did pull. That's a $10 card. Get a dog. Isamaru Hound of Konda. That's cool. It doesn't have any. It's a 2/2. It's like a bear, basically. No text or anything. It's a 2/2. I was actually thinking about building a deck so we have a bear deck, but I was thinking about building a deck that's just 2/2s. There's the second one, Michu Kondu Truth Seeker. That's interesting. You see the whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, that player sacrifices a permanent. That's a ward. Basically, it's a ward for you. Can't get my finger under it. There we go. I can see why they added the pull tabs for the later ones. So we did a Jumpstart with the Foundations Jumpstart, and at least had the pull tabs. We're still paying, but man, I got a second Law here, by the way. And you guys saw that while I was putting that in the trash. Gideon, Champion of Justice. And this is all the same. You see, so it's the rare is different, and then I believe all of this is the same, or mostly the same, if nothing else. Boy. Alright. Treasure. Goldspan Dragon, Kiki Jiki. Those are both mythics. Muxus, Goblin Grande. Professional Facebreaker. That's a good one. I actually just bought this card. Blood Esperant. Reckless Fireweaver. I just bought that too. That's a good card. Some staples in there at least. But yeah, I figured we'd try some Jumpstart, something different. They're a little cheaper, something to open up some packs but not get too crazy. Ferocious. As far as the green stuff, Primordial Hydra is a mythic. That'd be a good one. But Benevolent Hydra, that's a rare. Kibo would also be good. Those are the top 3 green. Wolverine Riders as well. And that's not any of those. Creeper Hulk. Bonder's Enclave is a land. It's a rare land. It's interesting. What does this do? Draw a card, activate. Oh, I played that. See, our land pile is starting to fall over. I might have to do two. Law. So this is the third time we've got the law. So there's no, when it comes to these things, you're not guaranteed to get anything specific as far as the packs, and you can sometimes get a bunch of repetition. Decree of Justice for a rare. And then we've seen all this. We can go ahead and skip past that and put that up. Hopefully we don't get too many more laws. I wouldn't mind getting some repetition if it was like some of the blue and black. Give us a better chance of getting some of those hits, but Landfall, that's cool. I'm sure there'll be some good stuff in here. I don't know if any of these hits are Landfall. Avenger of Zendikar. Not on the top of this list here. It's not to say that's not good. Rampaging Growth. Never have too many. All right. Well, so far, our biggest hit is that Balin. But like I said, there's a lot of value kind of all through this set, so more value if I could get it open. Teamwork. I need it to get these packs open. Ogris, Coast Eternal Soldier. It's a rare. And get another rare. Tarantica, Akron Veteran. My goodness. Angelic Cub. So the only thing worse than my pack opening is my card reading. I don't know what we're doing here. Urza's. So there are Urza's lands in here, which would be really good to see. I'm sure that we're going to find something like that in here. Karn Liberated. That's a good hit. I think it's like $4 or $5, $3 or $4. And then there's another one, Walking Ballista. That's a good card. Maybe we'll get like a Bloodline Pretender and stuff in here. I don't know. See the Urza's Factory. Expedition Map, Urza's Tower, Urza's Tower, Urza's Tower, Urza's Power Plant, Mine. These are huge, by the way. If you run anything that uses, you could do the waste, and you can use these. So these combine, if you've never seen them before, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, and then Urza's Tower. Okay, so my camera ran out of storage space. Recording in 4K takes up a lot of space. It eats it up pretty quickly. So sorry about that. What I was saying though is the Urza Mine, the Urza Power Plant, and the Urza Tower. Individually, these things tap for 1. But when you get all 3, they then each tap for 3. So you go from tapping for 1 to 9 in total. And that's with the waste or 3, colorless. The point is, those can be really, really strong in decks that can use them, especially anything that has a lot of color and stuff. Anyhow, I opened up 2 packs. without the camera, so we'll just go ahead and start back in there. You at least get to not have to watch me struggle with the packaging, so that's always a benefit. This one's a fairies, and the first one was stolen by the Fae. We saw this one earlier, so this is the second time we got it. And then we have synchronized eviction. It's only the one rare. All of this is going to be the same as the last time that we saw the fairy deck. This thing is starting to really fall over there. And then the second one we got was Raid. Red. Brazen Cannonade. It's a lot easier to say that the second time. You guys missed out on me struggling with that one too. Rigging Runner. Nothing too crazy in there. Hold on. You may have heard it in the background. There's a random cat that was just howling or meowing. Hopefully we can get through the last 4 packs here without any more interruptions, but I don't make any guarantees. And hopefully we see another good hit. Like I said, I know it's asking a lot to find an Ash Coat of the Shadow Swarm or Tree of Perdition, as those are mythics, but I wouldn't mind finding Heuristic Study. That's a rare, right? Dragons. Goldspan Dragon would be the big hit here if it's a mythic. And it's not. It's a rare. Laughless Dragon Queen. This is a good card. And we got a second rare with Dragon's Horde. And then Furnace Whelp. A few staples in there. Like I said, the best part about opening something like this, in addition to all the lands and the chance of getting some hits, for one, if you pick one of these up, you should play it. These are a lot more fun to play than to open. To be honest, these are a lot of fun to play. But on top of that, getting the whole pile of staples, and this set does have a ton of staples. It will help you if you plan on building any other decks in the future, or if you just wanted to take what you find in here and build a deck, you could do that too. So, and at $100, I don't think it's too much to ask. I wish that there were more boxes that were just $100, and I say just $100 because that's what they all used to be. But ferocious. So we have the 4 greens, Primordial Hydra. So we got a mythic. Oh, we got a mythic. Primordial Hydra, Kibo would be the 2 big ones there. And Ronus is not either one of those. It's still a good card though. Challenger Troll, Roar of the Challenge, Colossal Majesty, Rampaging Growth, Giant Ladybug. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Interesting. 2 more. Be interesting to see how we did on this box too. I feel like it's going to be a majority of the stuff that's on that dollar range and stuff like that. There's not a ton of big hits. There's a very good chance that you don't make up your money on these if you don't hit any of the bigger hits. Like I said, we did have 1. Holy. Righteous Valkyrie. It's a good card. And for our last pack, let's see what we get here. Cat is back to howling again, and I don't know why. They're excited for something. I see a whole bunch of them at the front door as well. Multi-headed. So Benevolent Hydra would be a good one to see here, right? Or the Primordial Hydra. It is a mythic. We got a Primordial Hydra. That's a good hit. And then we got the Benevolent. So that's a really good pack. Much needed. All right, I'll get everything scanned in and see where we land. Like I said, I wouldn't expect this to be a big hit, but, we'll see. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Everything's been scanned in. Everything's been sleeved up. It's over $1. This box, Jumpstart 2022, it cost me around $100. It was a little less than $100. That's about what you'd spend to get one right now. Obviously, you get a ton of what most people would call bulk with the uncommons, commons. As far as the rares go, I was kind of surprised. These are all the rares that are under $1. There's a lot of cards. I was kind of surprised that about half of the rares ended up being pretty good hits. These are the ones that are under $1. And we did find a couple uncommons that were in that $3 to $4 range. In fact, I think our total for the commons, uncommons, I think was about $17 before I even started scanning the rares. So that's pretty big. And there's a ton of stuff that's under $1, but still not that like 10-15 cent range stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's a little bit more expensive, and that's just to get an indication that there's a lot of stuff in here that is playable. They may not be rare or expensive or anything like that, but there are a lot of playable cards. And you get a big old stack of lands. Like, that's a big stack of just basic lands, not counting all the thrives. There's a ton of thrives and a few other things like the Ash Barrens and stuff. Anyhow, so for our cards over $1 to $2, we only had 3. I thought for sure we were going to have a lot of these cards that were in this like mid-range of not bulk, but not quite as, high enough for some game stores to pick up. From the $2 to $5 range, this is the pile we had there. Not too bad. A few cards in there, a few good ones. These are all $2 to $5. But then this stack over here, this is a stack. I'll fan that here so you can see it. This is the stack of the cards that are over $5. So this Dragon Speaker Shaman, this is $4.55. The Spell Stutter Sprite is $4.65. Professional Facebreaker, the normal artwork, is $4.98. Righteous Valkyrie is $5.16. Rudolph Dustbringer is $5.25. Benevolent Hydra is $7.47. Primordial Hydra is $7.92, which, by the way, those were in the same pack, and there was an uncommon that was like $5 from that pack as well. Walking Ballista is $10.71, and then Balin Wandering Knight was our biggest hit at $10.84. These are both about the same price. In total, though, our box came in at $96.77 for things over $1. That's not bad. That's pretty much where you'd want it to be, right? Like, I'm happy if I break even on a box when it comes to the $1 or more value, because that means that we got a big stack of stuff. This is the stuff when you're building a deck, at least when I'm building decks, because I build a lot of cheaper decks. This is a lot of the stuff that's hard to get. Most game stores have the more expensive stuff. Finding a game store that's willing, buying them online, especially. These are the cards that you have to that are marked up a little bit because nobody wants to deal with the bulk, right? So having some bulk is not bad. So we get all that. That's basically free. In this case, so that was $96.77 for the $1 or more. The total box value was $138. So I'd say we did pretty well. It wasn't a banger. We didn't get a Ristic study. We didn't get any of the big hits, to be honest. I mean, like $10 is not a huge hit. It's not a bad hit, but it's not a huge hit. And sadly, I didn't get any of the cards that I was looking for. The only thing that I got that I was hoping to get is I did get some of the Urza Mine, Urza Factory, and whatnot, the Tron lands. But those aren't really worth anything. I figured it'd be nice to have a set extra sitting around, and we did get, I think, a play set from that deck of those. So, in all, though, we didn't lose money. It came out even. Had fun opening it, even though I struggled to not cut myself and struggled with the extra packaging. But the cool thing, though, is value-wise, we're kind of a wash. But imagine you pick one of these things up, play with a friend, play with a couple friends, and then you get a, you're not really losing money on the set, and you get to have fun with it. That's really where the key is. This would still be a pretty good pickup at the current price. These are a little older, though, and there is the Jumpstart from Foundations that's out, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing these Jumpstart 2022s start to dry up. So if you want to get one of these, it's probably a good time to pick one up. That said, that's all for today. I do have, speaking of Jumpstart Foundation, I have a Jumpstart Foundation box sitting here next to me. That's going to be the next thing I open up, so come back, check it out, see how we do. And yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, check us out on TikTok. We have the reels and we have shorts and stuff on here now as well, the short format stuff, and let me know what you think of that. And until next time, have a great day. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.